Welcome to Forever Exiled. I'm Justin, A.K. Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
And this is episode 266.
He did it!
I did it. I did not know where any of my stuff was, so here we are. Episode 266 of us talking about stuff and Path of Exile. A big shout out to our patrons. Thanks to everybody who resubbed up this week. We love your faces. Patreon gets you access to After Dark. It's our podcast after the podcast, and it's just your extra dose of us, and it's appreciated. So thank you to everybody who does.
And this will be pretty after darky,
just less drinky. But yeah, it's gonna be. Yes. This is gonna be short. This is gonna be very. I don't even know. There's not much to talk about Path of Exile. We said our piece last week.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to the day. I hope it doesn't happen, of course, for us and for GGG. But I'm looking forward to. I don't know, maybe if they postpone the December 6th launch date by 1 week, Jesus. Just so we could have that one extra episode of.
Or they come out early and we can be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Or
and
that.
Then issues.
Oh, Ty's moving away.
Picked up.
I'm not even taking it out. I didn't have a notepad up, so it doesn't count. Anyway, yeah. Big shout out to patrons. Thank you so much for your support. We love your faces. Oh yeah, that's right. Remembrance Day.
It is. Mm-hmm. It's Remembrance Day weekend. Our kids, today's Friday for us, have the day off today.
Why
because
not?
Our school district likes to do that. The Friday before Remembrance Day.
Any day before.
And then Remembrance Day for us is November 11th on Monday. So thank you to everyone. Could you imagine that actually being your job? Like we have people and we know people where, you know, they're in whichever kind of force that they're in for our nation. But imagine, you know, knowing somebody that has given their life for your country.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're very fortunate to live in a country where, yes, honestly, even if we lived in a crappy country, giving your life for the hopeful safety of your people is fantastic. But yeah, anyway, have a solemn, wonderful, thoughtful Remembrance Day.
I said happy Remembrance Day. And I'm going to stick with it.
I remember as soon as I saw it was Remembrance Day, of course, a while back, but when I was referencing it, thinking about it in terms of the podcast, I remembered a conversation we had. Because last year I was like, happy Remembrance Day. And it's like, no, a lot of people died for this one. Yep. No, not a happy one.
It was funny. My brother posted a video of the Remembrance Day ceremony because he went to it at his school because his kid was speaking. And
speaking,
goodness. but like sort of speaking. I mean, I guess the kids were saying what peace is to them or something to that effect. But peace to him is being able to play video games. I was like, nice.
But only one kid's allowed to say it for the presentation.
That's pretty funny. My daughter was really excited to be doing the wreath at the Remembrance Day ceremony for our kids, so she was pretty pumped about that. I guess cool. They do something with a wreath. I've never been to the ones at the school, but yeah, anyway, it's Remembrance Day. Happy, solemn, thoughtful, whatever you are. It is Remembrance Day. How was your week?
At least be thankful. I had a good week, man. I had a good week. My wife blew my mind. So you know how sometimes there's these things where, yeah, sorry, I guess I shouldn't just pause there.
Hey, you pause at the right spot. I mean, if you pause mid-sentence, I'd be like,
to go on. Pictures. So you know, sometimes there's these things in life where you're almost embarrassed to discover them so late. You know, I mean, Twitter, TikTok, whatever it is loaded with these, like, it was today ago that I discovered this, and it's been around since forever.
Did you find a good one?
Well, my wife did. She was getting to know a new coworker of hers, and she was at this person's location as opposed to my wife's location. And so, you know, my wife was kind of the new person around, showing them around. And anyway, I don't know how it came up, but apparently every single microwave has little notches underneath the open door button. So you can put fingers behind the button and push the open door button with your thumb.
Oh, you can't on mine.
Well, some of them have handles like you open them like a door, but there's actually, I didn't think any of mine would have had them, but I put my fingers behind the open door button and yeah, they're there.
There's notches for what purpose?
So that you can open the microwave. with your thumb. Justin was so mesmerized that he took his headset off and walked away. It's amazing. Listen, people, that's a phenomenal thing. If you have one of those microwaves with a button instead of a handle, do it. Go. Feel around. Do the 2-finger thing.
My Panasonic inverter one does not. I checked.
Oh, did you just go check?
Yeah, I was like...
Wait, does it have the thumb button, though, like in the bottom, or is it a handle, or what?
No, it's an actual... So just imagine a rectangle, and that whole rectangle pushes in, and that's what...
I don't believe you, because I have a really crappy old microwave. I'm going to feel around. I'm going to 2-finger your...
I tried everywhere, but like, because for mine, you have to push this whole rectangle inside, like in towards the microwave. Like the whole thing moves in. I don't have buttons anywhere, but underneath it's all just flat. It's all part of that rectangle that moves in.
I'm going to come over.
Yeah, that's fine. But
anyway, that was my week.
Cool.
We had a great week. Yeah, the weather's actually been fantastic. It's been pouring rain nonstop. We've had multiple. Well, I guess, yeah, I'm going back a couple weeks and just kind of mishing it all together. But it's been a ton of rain, a lot of atmospheric rivers. But every Thursday that we do the newspaper route, it's been dry. It's been glorious. The kids did the newspaper route in shorts and a t-shirt yesterday. It was 15 degrees out of nowhere. It's always like 5 degrees when I go to school, so we're good.
It's just an airplane.
The propeller plane that's driving by. I swear, propeller planes are so loud. You think they are going to do like the dive bomb thing right in your house.
So what was I going to say? One thing that has been annoying this week is firecrackers still going off. My dog is just a coward when it comes to those things. Like, I think that's the only thing I've ever seen her just like shut down. She won't eat. Like, you can't give that dog a treat if she's heard a firecracker recently.
Wow.
Yeah. She shuts down. So I appreciate when those stop, and then we've got until January, end of December for those to come back.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, you didn't ask, but my week's fine.
Hey, just how? Well,
I know I kind of started right into it. Yeah, it's just been a week, like just a standard busy week. It was busy, but I like that. I like being busy. It was a bit more social than I prefer, but just dealing with more people.
Yeah, I know.
Not really my thing. But no, it was good. Lots of meetings, not many Zoom, lots of in-person stuff, which I do. I prefer. I don't like Zoom meetings.
Right after you keep saying like, people.
Yeah, but if I'm actually doing like meeting, I don't know how to say it, but if I'm doing something that I want to do, I don't mind if there's people involved. But when I have to go to meetings that I don't want to be at, and there's people, that I don't like that. I don't know.
Sure.
I'm a very selfish person. I like my stuff. But no, it was good. I had to sort out or have one of my kids have a play date that was on me instead of my wife, because she always does all that stuff.
Sure.
But on Monday, one of the teachers had some problem and asked Christina, like, can my daughter come over to your house? Because something's going, I can't remember what's going on. And Christina was like, can she? I'm like, can she?
You're at home. You're messaging your wife who's not at home. Hey, can this person come over to play?
It was the night before. That she asked me. I was like, yeah, sure. As long as I don't have to like just tell them to come, I'll pick them up. I'll do my thing. But I mean, my kids are all pretty good. So yeah, it was a good week. It was nothing out of the norm, man. Just good, normal, busy, normal stuff. We're still almost done Schitt's Creek. We rewatched the whole 5 or 6 seasons of it. It's so funny.
I'm one of those shamed Canadians that hasn't seen it yet.
You still haven't seen it? No. You really should. I mean, like Christina watched it once. I think I've told you this before. She watched it once without me because I was like, nah, I'm not into it. It looks stupid. And then we watched it. It's even the second time is so fun. You know what? I have to say too, for that show, besides the fact that it's funny, it is probably one of the better written shows. Like
I've heard it's very well written.
The characters are just very, very well written. Like surprisingly is a very, very well written comedy show.
Yeah.
So,
well, if you're not actually Canadian, no matter where you're born, you're not Canadian if you don't like Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara. But apparently, it was Eugene Levy's kid, the son that wrote the whole thing, and that really, I mean,
it's really good.
It obviously took off, and he has a lot of respect in that community now. But really cool. I've heard great things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a show where you it's so well written that you really are invested and enjoy the storylines for multiple people. You're not just following it for that one storyline. So
only for Tyrion.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I have to say, we ran a training session that I was not thankfully having to run, but I was there for it, working in the background just to listen in. I was laughing my ass off because at one point, the guy who is amazing that was running the training session was trying to tell a story, but he started to go into Lord of the Rings, and he started to talk about the storyline of who's the guy that the Sean Bean's character?
Yeah,
Boromir. And I will follow you, Mike. I can't remember what it was, but oh man, I was he even said like 4 times during. He's like, I realize how nerdy I sound, but he just kept going with it. It was so funny.
That's hilarious. The pastor of the church that I go to, he likes to have those kind of jokes as well. So you know how like a lot of the times pastors, they'll have their reference points, not just from like a biblical verse, but also from whatever book,
personal
C.S. Lewis, someone modern, someone old school, someone that's from, different. Whoa.
Easy.
Sorry, almost knocked over my wife's pet camera. Pet cam. But so anyway, you have these quotes, right, to legitimize what you're saying. And so often he'll be like, and from the wise words of the great theologian Gandalf, funny. As Bilbo once said, it's a strange world walking out your door, or whatever it is, right?
Sure.
So it's quite funny. I enjoy it when people do that stuff.
Yeah.
Tolkien always has something wise to say. So,
and I'm continuing our watching Dark. Tyler and I have been talking about the TV show Dark and After Dark, and I still have to watch one more. I've only watched the 5th episode, so I got to watch the 6th today before After Dark. But it's good. 5,
it's a great show.
I'm
very glad.
5 was real. Okay, anyway, we'll talk about it in After Dark, but it's a good show, TV show.
One thing that I actually think is interesting, I didn't know anything about the show except that I wanted to watch it. I intentionally learn as very little as possible about shows before I watch them. And it's funny because we just came up with the system watching 2 episodes a week. It's almost like the shows are made in pairs. Watching 2 a week, it's like there's really good... I don't know, like if I would to only watch episode 5 without episode 6, I'm like, man, same thing with like 1 and 2, 2 and 3.
6, though.
Well, right, but I just think it's quite a good, nice coincidence that we're watching in pairs, but the show is really like coupled nicely like that as well.
Sweet. Yeah, it's been fun to watch.
I'm looking forward to talking about that.
Yep, we played a little Age of Empires
markets. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so played a little Age of Empires. Tyler and I. That's how we started our day. Because I was a little tired and a little groggy, and I was like, right as we were about to start recording, if I say Age of Empires, Tyler's like, in.
I am.
So it was
no,
fun.
honey, put your clothes back on. Justin said Age
French
of Empires.
Need me.
Exactly. Joan of Arc needs my help.
Yeah.
So you can wait, schmoops. You can wait.
What lawns look great.
They do. I still need to do my final cut. Yeah, and I should have done that yesterday.
We've probably got maybe, I don't know. The weather's so hard here, but
it's going to rain all week. Like once we're finished, I should actually go outside and mow the lawn if it's dry, because it's just going to rain nonstop until winter. We got to think about winter tires because our like all season, all weather, whichever one they are, they're at the end of their shelf life, which means they're just tires.
Yeah.
So no matter what they were when you bought them, there's just slicks now. But
I have a suggestion for you to look into.
It's 75% or more chance to rain for our specific area until the 19th.
Gross.
What's your suggestion?
Nokian. Look into the Nokian tires. You can get it from Cal Tire, but look into Nokian. Nokian, they call them all weather. So they are a winter and a but I've been buying them for my cars now for a long time. There's a brand of the Nokian. I can't remember which one it is. They've been awesome. We put them on all of our cars and they run through the winter.
We have the all weather as well, different brand from a place that I can't say because they're only here, but they've treated us well. It's just we're at like the 6-year mark. So
I replace mine every like 3 to 4 years. Like they have, I can't remember what their kilometer rating on them. It is actually pretty good, but I like sticky. I want to make sure that when the winter comes, I'm no problem. And even for my wife, it's like, meh, I could drive her, go pick her up, but my car needs to be good to go. You know what else I bought for winter prepping? You know, I have the snowblower, right? Like the big snowblower. I have a big snowblower.
I know you have everything. Yes. So I assumed you had a snowblower.
Well, Ego makes a handheld like mini snowblower for like pathways and like small areas. Got it.
Obviously. Did it come with a battery? Or was it only the tool?
That's why it made more sense, because I wanted it anyway. That's the one thing that drives me crazy with Ego is their batteries are so expensive. I've had like 3
It's not just
die.
Ego, man.
I know they're all expensive, yeah. But
you got 3 batteries die?
3 die, and I need to go through because they're warranted, but I just don't. Like I find then I got to get on the phone and I got to go through and try. I don't know how it even works. I know they're warranted and they'll straight up replace it. I've been told that, but I just haven't. But yeah, we've had 3 of the big ones die, and those are like $350. They're so expensive.
And that sucks because you're stuck with Ego. They intentionally, all the brands make their batteries different shapes, so you have to stick with Ego.
I've seen some on Amazon that are third party now that are making them, but I haven't bought one because it's still okay. Instead of $350, I might spend $250, so I might save $100.
It's a lot to risk.
But yeah, that's just it. Like, is it gonna work? I don't really know. The problem with the snowblower though is you need 2 of the big ones, or it won't. Like, you have to. It runs on 2.
Otherwise, it's a snow breezer.
It's just a snow pusher. Like you're just you're just sliding along. You may as well shovel. So anyway, how was this week in PoE?
Good. Didn't touch it.
No,
I'm not. I'm probably. I'm there. Like I turn it on sometimes, and I'll do some delving, but there's still that. I don't know if it's a glitch or not, but whenever the change or the glitch happened, it's frustrating with delve. You can't zoom out very far, and it makes it so frustrating. Like it's really zoomed in, and that's the farthest it can zoom out, and it's really frustrating. And like you have a lot more apathy when you can't be strategic as to where you're going or actually see and double track. The thing with standard is you always want to make sure you're double tracking. Yeah, because I have so much sulfite, but I gain sulfite every map, and I like getting sulfite every map or azurite, whichever one it is. But I have a full bar, so it's like it's time to go delving and empty that bar so then I can map again. Even though I could map and just have the sulfite I get being redundant, but I don't like doing that. So that's, fix it.
Yeah, but what? Like, you mean just to like let you zoom out?
Let me zoom out. Yeah,
but is this just console? Definitely. Because on PC you can zoom out a little bit, but it's, man, I do remember. I know it's probably is somewhat limited because I think I told you this too. It used to lag you like insane if you scrolled out too much. Now that's definitely a them problem. But back.
Yeah. And you used to be able to zoom out normally on console, on Xbox. But you just can't now. Well, that's why I say it's a glitch. Like I wrote a bug report about it, but it's like you can barely zoom out, and it's like, well, like that is an absolutely atrociously massive map to like be crazy zoomed in on and see where to go and what to do and how to plan. It doesn't make sense. So anyway, but also my interest level hasn't really been there. I've been so excited to actually, I'm tired of Path of Exile 2, but I'm excited to play Path of Exile 2.
I just want to play it.
Like when they come out with their tweets and announcements and stuff, I'm like, I really don't care.
I was thinking about it today because the one that came out right before we recorded was this Path of Exile 2 treasure hunter Oswald thing and showing some journal entries of monsters and stuff, which is cool. I am the same as you, but I was thinking when I saw that they have to do something. Like you can't just go radio silent until. So even though I don't like it, and I've said this, and people have called me out on it, and they are completely fair. There were some good comments on Discord. We had a good discussion about this. It is fair. They have to do something. They have to keep the interest. They have to show these little teasers. Just for me, it's not an interesting thing for me because my interest is going to be like, hey, here's our announcement date. Here's when we're going to talk about it. Here's when blah, blah, blah. That's what I want. The teaser stuff. I'm only looking at it now to talk to you. I wouldn't have looked at it otherwise. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm on the exact same page. I don't think they're doing anything wrong. I'm just tired of it.
Yeah.
I'm not interested at all. I saw the Tokyo Game Show post and I'm like, sweet. Like some people's going to like, I didn't click on it. Didn't watch it. Didn't care.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, I'm back at that stage where, and sure, part of it's because of the delay. Part of it's just because it's been 5 years. Part of it is, it's just like every aspect of how this has gone through, especially with the waves they go of like complete silence and then a massive onslaught of tweets about little videos and clips and interviews. I think it was all the interviews, like the 8,000 streamer interviews they did that just like ruined it for me. You know what I mean? Like a poorly made achievement system that makes you grind in all the crappiest ways. So I think that's what it was for me. And now it's just kind of getting back to that Tokyo Game Show. I'm like, that's nice. Okay. Well, hopefully I'll be playing it December 6th. They did come out with patch notes this week, but that was just to start the event that I do not care about at all. Like this new wipe for Settlers.
Yeah. I'm just going back to the PoE 2 stuff for a second. It was funny because we had our last episode and like shortly after it came out, they had a little teaser and I wanted to message you and be like, grenades? Really? Grenades? I just laughed, which is fine. I get it. They're making different ways for people to play. But just for me, I saw cluster grenade and some other grenade or something. And I was like, okay, but here's the thing though, too. And this is one thing I will stand behind that I have said. Hype has a shelf life and hype starts to die out. And you cannot, it's not possible to have hype forever.
I totally agree. I loved when you mentioned shelf life. That was the perfect word for it.
We both had an interruption at the same time.
Well, I'm glad my son, we're giving him access to the house phone so that me and the
you guys have a house phone?
moms,
like a landline?
Yeah, we don't tell anybody and we don't use it. And so that therefore we know that every single call that comes through is...
You don't get spam?
All the time.
Yeah.
So we just have it down. It's only for 911, so we don't even have to ring around.
Yeah, okay,
my kids are now making so many plans with their friends, but just for like online, getting together online. We're not giving them phones. They can get cell phones when we're either terrified that they're going to get kidnapped or they're old enough to pay for their own.
Yep.
One of those two. And so we've now like kind of organized with the other houses, like, yeah, okay, the landline, which neither of them use as well. Like, yeah, okay, if the landline rings, you know it's Oliver or one of his buddies calling and they're just looking to make online game plans. So he's already called his buddy 6 times. So I'm gonna have to talk to him about like, hey, like that's loud and annoying and it's like somebody ringing the doorbell that much. So just chill out.
Our kids use Messenger, Facebook Messenger, because then the parents have control over who they can talk to. So they can use the tablet for chatting with each other.
I don't have Facebook, so I can't.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but I mean, it could be through your wife's. But anyway,
no way. Anyway, PoE 2.
It's just you're kind of at the end of a beating. Like it's just you're ready for it to be done, and that's where I've been at that point probably for longer than maybe's fair. But I'm ready to play it. I think they have to do stuff. They have to put stuff out. I think it's better for them to do the random odd thing than to be just dead quiet until launch time. It's just that would be my preference, but I know that doesn't make sense.
And I think the Mercenary is the perfect one to do that with because it's the least interesting and most conflicting one for me. Like for me, and again, like Justin and I are talking just personal preference. I totally agree. GGG's not doing anything wrong right now. They postponed because they said they need to postpone. Okay, well, you know what you're doing. Hopefully it's the only one for both your sake and our sake. And I don't know what the relationship is like with Tencent and how much power or control they care about having as opposed to just the income. So hopefully they're not under pressure. Involved. I think that was why they went with them, was that they're just an influx of money, but they let the company be. So hopefully they don't feel any external pressure outside of their own offices for meeting certain dates.
Oh, I bet you if there was, we would have seen it come out early and not as good.
And garbage.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I
hopefully
do
that's the
think,
case.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hope I agree and take your time, do what you need to do. But I mean, we might judge you in the meantime, and that's
But that's just the
that's
for
just
fun.
part of you making a game.
Yeah. But I agree on the shelf life. I'm done. If we weren't invited to the play test, this would have turned into a multi-purpose podcast in the meantime.
No, don't. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's good. Pro D days, man. We're going to get interrupted every 15 seconds. But no, it's like I was just saying while your daughter was talking to you that I don't remember what I was saying.
I wanted to hear what that last comment was because I feel like
you'll hear it if you listen back because I did finish it, but now I want you to hear it.
It was probably awesome.
It was.
Anyway.
Stuff.
It's so gone. It was such a good one though. I agree with whatever you said because I know I was thinking that I was on the same page, but yeah.
Oh, well, I was like, if we weren't invited to the playtest, like our shelf life was done.
The playtest
way before the playtest,
massive for us.
And the
personally.
playtest, right? It was.
Yeah.
I mean, it even converted you to being a controller player. Like that was a massive one, and it's
or
great.
At least
and
to try it.
Really hope, right? And so, but if it wasn't for that, this podcast would have been like a multi-purpose podcast until PoE2 comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would be a struggle. That playtest definitely helped and got me more hyped up for the game, which is easier for us to then talk about it, which is a positive for us and a positive for them. But I just want to play at this point. It's cool to see stuff. I understand they got to do it. Makes sense. Do your thing. But I just want to get to December 6th.
Yeah. Honestly,
unless they do want them to hold to it.
Right. Unless they do stuff that actually lets you learn about the theory crafting of the game. Like if they release parts of the tree.
To play
or if
with.
they release ascendancies, I'd be stoked for that. But if they're just showing off a skill, I don't care. I really don't care. Unless it's an archetype that's, I know, like a minion archetype.
For you,
I'll watch it, but then I'm only watching for my personal thing. Like, well, okay, how does that actually interact? And I'm looking at the HUD more than I'm looking at gameplay to see how all the interactions work.
We just got to make it 4 weeks. 4 more weeks.
It's 4 more weeks. We could have been playing next week, man. This coming Friday.
Don't say that. You're right. That's
we could
awful.
have been. It is. So anyway, we're 4 weeks away. But at the same time, like I'm not interested in the Mercenary. And it's just for silly reasons. But the reason I'm not interested in the Mercenary is it makes everything that isn't magic seem stupid. You know what I mean? Like if you're in a world where there's guns and grenade launchers, why would somebody choose a bow and arrow?
Because it could be magical. I mean, like,
or a sword.
Like you can make an argument for it. Like I don't like it. It's not my style of play, but also like it's such a silly thing. The more I thought about it, to be against it when you can like call down meteors from the heavens.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like, see, magic against guns or that type of weapon can. Okay, sure. Like this person went to like some sort of like offshoot school for whatever for 300 years because they have an innate ability that very few people are born. And so, now like magic, fire falling from the sky, earth opening up in front of you. Okay, like I guess you could get that versus guns, but the second it's like you have an army loaded with that kind of like gun weaponry, and then you have, I forget what the actual term is, ballistic weaponry, and then against like a whole bunch of bows and arrows and swords. Like, sorry, like there's a reason that things are the way they are now. So even though it's a fantasy game, for some reason, when you mix those two up, like let's say you're doing PvP and it's like, oh yeah, check out my bow and arrow skills. It's just like,
I understand where you're
it's
coming
like
from.
Indiana Jones, right? Indiana Jones, like, wah! And he's doing all these sweet sword moves, and then Indiana Jones pulls out a gun and shoots him. So that's what I think. So
I feel it's
for some reason, I'm not interested in it.
I'm not interested in them either, but I also, it's fine that they're there. The whole game is fantasy. So if you can shoot a gun, sure. If I can fire lightning bolts from my fingertips or my piece of wood that I'm holding on my back, I think whatever. You evolved and made a gun. Whatever it is, what it is.
You come from gun culture.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's I don't know why it doesn't interest me, but again, not a criticism. It's just one of the, like in Path of Exile 1, there's a bunch of archetypes that don't interest me, and that's it. So I like them getting the least interesting teasers out of the way so that when the game comes out, the beta comes out, and I'm like looking at stuff, I'm like, like the things that I like, I'm discovering when the game comes out, because I know I'm going to play anyway, right? It's not like they're trying to sell people like you and me on the game. We're playing no matter what. Doesn't matter what they do beforehand. We're playing no matter what.
I was reading some of the comments just now in their announcement, because they have their little thing where they're showing their stuff for PoE 2, and reading them sometimes is a little bit interesting. The way people build their own, well, I want to say build their own, but that's not true. Just the way they have opinions on things is bizarre to me, because you should play the game first before you make a judgment.
You cannot
call.
judge gameplay right now, especially
also,
because they have no idea what endgame, like they want endgame to be similar to what it is now.
Yeah.
But you're not going to ever see it.
The one comment I'm reading out specifically too is this person's going off of what he says or she says all of the streamers are saying. You shouldn't listen to even me or Tyler about our opinions on the game. Play the game. Right. And then make your decision. Like, if you don't, to say that you don't think it's going to be for you is a little odd to me, because I don't know what you're basing that off of. But I mean, whatever. Even the people who are saying what they're saying are still going to play it. They're going to try it, and maybe they won't like it, but don't go into it going like, people said this is going to suck, I'm going to look for the things I don't like. Like, no, just go and have some friggin' fun.
A lot of streamers have been invited to play the game, and a lot of streamers have not been invited to play the game, and none of them are you.
Yeah.
Which all I'm saying is, why on earth would you care what someone else's opinion is about the game?
No, play it.
It doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't help you make a decision.
No.
You're going to play like, I loved Assassin's Creed. Somebody else plays Assassin's Creed and it was extremely monotonous. I loved the monotony.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Right? I saw a comment on our Discord about the game looking like it was too slow, like that there was too, I think they were talking specifically about melee stuff. I have to say, when I played melee, I did not feel slow. I loved, the fact was, if I'm playing a two-handed build, I love that. I don't want to feel like I'm swinging a two-handed axe as fast as I could swing a one-handed sword. Like but I want to feel like there's a value to it. I did not feel like it was slow. Or that there was any buildup. It was a different play style, and that's what I'm looking forward to it.
Sure.
So,
and they are intentionally only showing the first couple acts of gameplay. Like they're showing some characters like up to 3 acts, so that the characters have more skills and more, ways to interact, all the different skills that they're trying to show off. But they're not finished the acts.
No, you're barely into the tree. You're barely into building. We've not even touched the ascendancies, so like there's a lot to come.
Yeah, and there's no way they can show, I think it would be foolish for them to show mapping gameplay now, because
I agree.
If that's not a good representation of what it's actually going to be like, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Don't
and
tell
insane
people,
amount
let
of criticism.
them figure it out. Let them figure it out.
Well, right, because if let's say they show gameplay now and it's nice and quick, and then after they've finished the campaign and then they put out gameplay and it ends up being different because the beta is going to have thousands of testers as opposed to 20 testers. And if gameplay needs to change to accommodate all the really good feedback that they think comes their way, and then endgame's totally different than what they showed 3 months earlier for endgame gameplay, they're going to receive nothing but criticism.
Yeah, don't show any endgame.
Like, there's no point to showing endgame right now.
No.
You have no idea what a full-fledged build is going to look like.
Like, maybe if you're telling about like what endgame looks like, that's cool, but don't show gameplay footage of endgame. I agree.
Right.
Yep.
Explain your hopes and dreams for endgame, but you got to get there. You got to work there. And beta's the only way they're going to get there.
Yeah.
But I did love, like, that one tweet I was saying, like, I don't care about any of the posts they have right now because I'm just so tired of PoE 2. And that's one of the consequences, natural consequences of delays, is people get like not just disappointed, but it's like you said, the shelf life is getting extended, and that expiry dates, or best before, I guess you could say, is, it's stretching it, right? It's stretching it. But I did actually really like, did you click on the link for Treasure Hunter Oswald exploring the Utzal region?
I see it in their post.
So there were 3 pictures, and it was almost like bestiary notes in a way, but a little bit more specific. Like the bestiary notes right now, if you're to go into PoE 1 and check out the bestiary notes, there's like nothing valuable at all. It's
Sure.
neat, it's
Yeah,
cool, but
it's cool
it
that it's
doesn't
there.
help you. Whereas this would actually be, if let's say they use Treasure Hunter Oswald as like your in-game encyclopedia. So after you've encountered every single enemy, you discover one of, naturally, hopefully you don't have to click like you do on the stupid map crafting stuff in Path of Exile 1, but let's say you just naturally discover these notes as you go through the game, as you encounter enemies. Like it says locations, it says where they come from. Okay, cool, lore. But and I actually like that when the lore is small, because it's such a quick sentence and you're reading it as you're trying to find valuable information. But then like this first one, it says specifications. It's large, which that'll probably be a tag that we need to care about later on. It's toxic, it's hexer, and it's slow. All right, and then it says a description of what its actual combat abilities are like and where it's weak and strong, which is neat, right? And then it goes down and it does that for the other two as well, which, it talks about specifications, what they're good at, what they're not, where they're dangerous, where they're vulnerable. And I think that's a really cool way. If they use that in a way where it's integrated into your discovery of the game, again, hopefully it's not, you have to find and click on the discovery. It just naturally happens. Like, hey, your encyclopedia updated because you encountered these enemies.
And that's referenceable later that you can look through it and stuff. Yeah.
I really, really hope that I don't mind it just being like boring text-based encyclopedia stuff. That's fine to the point. But I think that's really cool if they do that this way, like the whole Einhart bit, but this, I think that's really cool. Yeah. And again, 2 of the 3 pictures are not family friendly. I love that one. That's so disgusting. Whoever it is that, oh man.
What's the second one that's not? I see boobs in one of them.
Well, the boobs, but then if you take a close look, the belly piercings, it's just like the skin's wrapped around the bones. You know what I mean? Like that's gross.
Yeah, but that's only one of the pictures. You said 2.
Right, but then you go down to the other one, all the mini baby pregnant children.
That one's fine. That's family friendly. I mean, they're
no,
yeah, sure it is.
That 2 of them have half a head.
Yeah, but I mean, it's creepy
some of them
looking,
have
but it's also not. They shouldn't be family friendly. It's freaking Path of Exile.
Oh, totally. And then you have the goat skeleton hexer at the bottom, which is cool. So anyway, I really liked that post. I know I'm not excited for them and I don't click on them, but if I eventually do click on them, I really like this one. It was fun, and I really hope they integrate that into the game further. I hope that's like a nice nibble for us going forward. It's really cool. Looking forward to seeing the rest of those things.
If you go to the little picture of the little tiny guys.
Hang on, I just closed it. Let me open it up.
So it's the hunchback clubbers, and they're in the Agarat ruins of Utsal. Can you read the first line of the origins?
Origins. Inbred. Oh, they screwed up.
Oh, is that offspring? Oh, I was like, what
it could just be the text, but it looks like there's
inbred offspring.
Inbred of offspring.
I was like,
so
what is
inbred
offspring? Oh, as soon as you start to say it, that game where like people say words and you have to guess. As soon as you say offspring, that makes sense. It took me a minute. That makes sense. Inbred offspring.
Twisted by generations of mutations. They're small, not large. They're a horde. Cool tag, aggressive and fast. These dim-witted creatures are extremely aggressive and impossible to communicate with. See, that was interesting.
Yeah,
it is kill on sight, but then with the big one, it said that's
communication may be possible. Mm-hmm.
Right. So wouldn't that be interesting? Because that was one of those things that, now a totally different game. You would have to. I don't know if you would do it like as a conversion style or how that would work as a stat, but like to be able to communicate with enemies in this game.
Well, I'm guessing it's more just there's some NPCs that have like evolved or something. Like I would bet it's just something that you'll maybe experience later on. I don't want some sort of functionality where I can communicate with an enemy as a skill or something.
Sure. Yeah. Where they turn into allies, maybe that's a thing. Like, because remember something like Divinity 2, or Divinity 1 had it too, where you could get I forget what the trait was called, but you could speak to animals.
Speak to animals, yeah. No, I don't want that.
Well, it would be tough to add into Path of Exile as an active function.
Yeah, because there's your only benefit to it would be something lore related, or like the fact is Path of Exile is an ARPG and the goal of the game is to go in and slay hordes of monsters. that's always the idea behind it. You can't shift that into some more like storytelling type game.
No,
I don't think so.
But even if you made it passive, or you made it somehow that maybe you had to invest in communication to be able to do something like, specters, right? You need the corpse for it. And then, like, I was watching some of the gameplay and was reminded of some of the gameplay and how to allocate specters. Like, it's all really cool and crystal clear. Hopefully they have a better UI for it so you can actually see the monster stats. If you're like, oh, should I use this one or this one? It'd be really nice to know that in game, right? But what if there's something along the lines of, because you have your communication stat high or communication accuracy, whatever it would be, and it's more of a passive thing where it would temporarily allow you to convert that enemy into an ally, but only certain enemies have the ability to be communicated with, depending on how high your communication stat is. I don't know. Like, you would have to be very picky on how it's added to the game. But maybe there's ways for them to do that.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, though, I just want to go in and kill stuff. I don't want to communicate with the stuff. I just want to slam it with a hammer. So
it's interesting. Like, I played with the conversion trap for a while just for fun in Path of Exile 1. And it's fun, but it obviously doesn't work too well as an investment for boss fights that don't have ads. But then it was also like, all right, I want to kill you, but I have to wait for the conversion to end. Like, you can't kill those as
it
allies.
Should die at the end or something. Yeah,
I don't know. Something,
I don't know.
So
I don't know how much I want to be communicating with them. For me, I feel like that's more like maybe some of them find a way to evolve and they become like an NPC or something that you deal with later. That I'm cool with. I don't want to have to like try and find a way to communicate with them. I don't know. I'm not sure. I say that, and then they'll come out with something creative. Right. And you never know.
And they are astonishingly creative. You're like, man, how do they come up with this stuff? Another idea that I had, though, with the not all of these filthy crones are hostile. Some may be able to be communicated with. Is, like you were saying, if you see one, a big one, maybe it's an NPC instead of an enemy. But it would suck if, like in the Dark Souls games, if you damaged an NPC to an extent and then they turn hostile.
I hope they don't.
That would suck in a game like PoE.
Yeah, no, I can't see them doing something like that. But anyway, yeah, it'll be fun. I guess we'll see next week what to talk about, because maybe it'll be an Age of Empires based Path of Exile or episode, because
they'll have stuff. There'll be lots to talk about. We only have 3 more weeks.
3 more weeks. 3 more weeks. We do got to wrap this one up though, because I got to run. So Forever Exiled 266. I'm Justin, AK Tags.
Good guess. Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
Patrons, we'll see you in After Dark. Everybody else, will see you next week. If you're looking for more information, you'll find it on our website, foreverexiled.com. Pop into our Discord, say hi. Don't forget that 5-star button on Spotify, Apple, all of the things, and Patreon, other ways to support the podcast. You'll find them on all of the previously said things.
Agreed.